It's an alarming situation, isn't it? One second he was there, and the next second he just wasn't. The Dragon Ball Super creators have practically pulled Frieza right out of the storyline at this point. He wasn't included at the end of the last episode. He wasn't included in the preview for the next episode. He wasn't even included in the spoilers for the next 3 episodes. But how could this be possible? A crucial player in Universe 7's survival isn't about to just be forgotten. I know it, and you know it. Frieza is still there. Those terrifying tiny fingers haven't tapped his face on their god pad. The Grand Priest has yet to utter the words with that suspicious grin of his that Frieza has dropped out of the tournament. Trust me, I know exactly what you're thinking. Where in the world of Void did Frieza disappear to? Let's be honest with ourselves. The possibility that Frieza is just lying around somewhere is the most likely answer. But have you taken the time to really think about why he's just lying around? The first thought that comes to mind is very plausible. It's not like he's been very active during the Tournament of Power in the first place. He's clearly decided to just stand around and watch, like he was doing before. There's a problem with thinking that way though, because the chances he's actually struggling to even stand at this point in time is equally just as high. Remember, fierce attacks were just bouncing off of Jiren's body, interrupting Toppo's rampage against Frieza and Android 17. With Toppo jumping in to protect his sworn friend, Frieza and Android 17 had nothing to do but sit there and enjoy the show. That is until Goku and Vegeta dodged the oncoming attack. Jiren's frustration had gotten the best of him, causing him to throw an easily avoidable orb at his 2 opponents, leaving the bystanders in an unfortunate situation. The result? Nobody knew. It wasn't clear what had happened to them, as they instead instantly turned the focus to Vegeta's continued fight with Toppo. But this is Jiren's attack we're talking about here. It's not like you just stand up after something like that. Who knows what kind of terrible condition he could be in right now? It wasn't until the very end of the episode that Android 18 cried out in joy at the sight of her semi-injured brother jumping out from behind a pile of rubble. And that's when I realized Frieza isn't hurt. Getting hit by that attack provided him with the best opportunity ever. Right now, Frieza is hiding. How do I know? Because that's what he does best. Acts like one thing is going on just to surprise everyone with his secret mastermind to push everything back into his favor. As if that's not enough, he's been preparing for this moment since before half the tournament was even over yet. Imagine his thoughts as he watched Goku effortlessly glide by Jiren's fist, and then the evil intention thrill he felt as Goku laid helpless with Vegeta's back turned towards him. Goku looked down at his hands, wondering if he was really feeling what he thought he was feeling. Was this an increase in energy? Frieza had actually saved him, but to think his excuse as to why he did this was actually the truth would be a huge mistake. Frieza wasn't getting even with Goku for all those years ago without getting some selfish desire out of it. And the thing is, he wasn't even afraid to admit it. Frieza turned around, clearly stating the reason behind these curious actions. You remember what he said, right? At that time, it planted a question in many people's minds as to what Frieza meant by it. What could he possibly mean by saying he wanted Goku to work for him? And this wouldn't be the only time he said it either. Goku had finally awakened Ultra Instinct again, and with its power, he ended Kefla's chance to save Universe 6. But just seconds later, he fell to the ground, holding himself in pain while under the watchful eye of his self-proclaimed boss. Frieza laughed with another shocking statement following. He would need Goku to continue working for him, and therefore, he would continue helping him. Here's why this seems so out of place. Yes, I think we can all agree that Frieza should never say the words, "I'll help Goku." But when you look harder, you can see the real problem with these strange statements. What could he possibly do with a broken down Saiyan? He could continue giving him energy to make him not so broken down, sure, but that wouldn't change the fact that Goku had just fought 2 heavy battles in mere minutes. And to make matters worse, he was using a technique that was clearly draining his stamina quickly, a technique that Frieza was after. That's the only reason he would do anything for his biggest rival, use Goku for a power that he couldn't himself achieve. You agree, right? Even by that point, the tournament was already over halfway done. There was no guarantee that Goku would have enough time to reach Ultra Instinct a 3rd time. So why would Frieza keep striving for it? Why would he now be sitting around in the shadows waiting for his chance to have Jiren one-shot him back into the Saiyans? Because he knows the same thing we know. Don't say you haven't already been expecting it. I'd bet that this question hasn't even crossed your mind. Will Goku achieve Ultra Instinct again? Is that really even possible? Frieza has known just as well as you have that Jiren would eventually force Goku right on back into using that technique. Goku really has no other choice in the matter. It takes over for him when his body has nothing left. So what is Frieza doing right now? Waiting. Waiting for Goku to reach his limits again, waiting for Ultra Instinct to return, much like we are. But here's where some people run into trouble. I've noticed a certain Frieza theory floating around out there that really needs to be addressed. There are quite a few people who believe that this tournament has proven too much for Frieza to handle. That the rule forbidding him to take a life has made him fight weaker, leading to the idea that Frieza is hiding out so that he can attack Jiren unexpectedly to finally get that feeling he's been craving. And now, fuel has been added to that fire. You know exactly what I'm talking about. During the preview for the upcoming episode, we saw a hole in the back of Jiren's uniform. The similarity to the tears Frieza created in the back of Toppo's uniform just 2 episodes ago is just too hard to ignore, causing it to make even more sense for Frieza to attempt to be Jiren's end forever. But here's the main issue with that. From the moment Goku raised his hand and turned away, Frieza has had only one thing in mind. His eyes widened as he yelled out in fear, "I'm only kidding!" Frieza was forced to admit that his refusal to join the team, to have a chance to leave this dreadful place even just for one day, was totally a bluff. It was just sad. The most evil of villains agreeing to go by the rules in exchange for only a 24-hour period of freedom. But that wasn't about to stop him from making rules of his own though. You remember, Goku actually agreed Frieza would be brought back to life if Universe 7 won. This was just the first of how many times he attempted the same thing. Frieza has tried multiple times now to make a deal with someone from another universe to get himself resurrected with the Super Dragon Balls. You know, just in case he, the strongest person in the entire multiverse, isn't able to win them himself. He has made it very clear that this is his main desire, his main goal, his main reason for actually obeying someone else's rules. Not a single thing will stop him from trying to win the Tournament of Power, not even the restrictions the Grand Priest has enforced. But do you see how ridiculously smart he's been going about this? Frieza isn't just being lazy here, as much as it may seem. He said it himself what his true reason for staying on the sidelines was when he targeted Kaba. Remember, the Saiyan had just been pushed off the stage, barely escaping elimination. And with the motivation Vegeta gave him, Kaba finally reached Super Saiyan 2 for the very first time. By doing so, he was able to defeat the warrior who had just almost defeated him. But he had also worn his body down. It was clear as day that not much was left in him. Yet here came Frieza, golden and ready to get some well-deserved Saiyan revenge in for that day, while he watched helpless Kaba fly off the end of the stage, but this time with no one there to break his fall. Frieza admitted that he had strayed away from his ultimate goal. Let me explain. There was absolutely no reason for him to go Golden Frieza on Kaba when he was already weaker than Frieza to begin with, but especially now that he was worn out. And Frieza knew that, which is why he said that he was using unnecessary energy. Frieza is not even close to being a dumb villain. He could see Jiren's power as well as anyone else could, and he knew that he would need all the stamina he could find just to push this monster off the stage. Therefore, he hung around on the sidelines while everyone else wasted away energy on the weaklings. You know, except for every once in a while. Everyone needs to have a little fun, but the point is, he wasn't just doing it out of laziness. Not being very active in the fight was all part of his ultimate scheme, as it is again for the next few episodes. It all comes down to this. Frieza has been given the golden opportunity to lay low after a cloud of dust and smoke covered him after Jiren's orb came rushing at him in Android 17. He'll gladly sit and watch, waiting for the power he knows Goku will have to tap into again. Once Ultra Instinct has returned, Goku will wear Jiren down more than anyone else has been able to do before. But not only that, he'll wear himself down just as much as well. This will be the perfect chance for Frieza to show up out of nowhere. The fighter character they had all forgotten about. His attempt to knock both Goku and Jiren off will be easier than ever, and that leaves us with one of the biggest questions we still have about the ending of the Tournament of Power. Will the winner actually be, well, in my Discord server, they helped me answer that, the Super Active Anna fam. Use the link in the pinned comment to join the Discord server.